Hello, you've seen the title. We're not messing about. We're getting straight into this today because hashtag could win $1 million, which would quite frankly change everything, Seb. What's going on? We've got a lot to talk about. $1 million?
I don't even know where to start, Spen. But guys, this ain't no clickbait. This is legit. There's big news coming out of hashtag Towers right here. Something that could change the whole game.
100%.
For more ways than one. Not just about the money, but also how this whole thing's going to go about, right?
Exactly. Well, we're going to tell you all about it today. We're going to tell you about a football tournament that hashtag United are going to be playing in next year, next summer to be precise. It's in America. Not the first time hashtag gone to America, but we didn't have $1 million on the line back then. That was what, 5 years ago we did that?
Yeah, maybe more.
So there's $1 million on the line in the tournament and hashtag could win it. All we've got to do is win the tournament. We're going to tell you about what this tournament is, who's behind it, who else is playing in it. We're going to tell you how you could potentially play in it as well, which is pretty crazy. We're not just talking about us maybe winning $1 million, but technically, one of you at home, if you've got your own football team, you could win $1 million as well.
One thing I want to just say, like hashtag playing the FA Cup these days, right? This is not like that. This is not a tournament that's like $1 billion to 1 that we win or anything crazy like that. This is a tournament that when we're going to be playing in, we're going to be, there's going to be some good teams playing.
Let's get into the numbers. There's 32 of them.
Yeah,
there's 32 teams.
That's a good place to start.
Straight away, we have a 1 in 32 chance of winning, which is pretty good. What's that, like 3%? I don't know. Is that how you do odds?
I'll take it.
I don't know.
No, thing is, that's if we're just an average team.
Yes, we're unbelievable.
We're going to build a squad specific for this team because it's a different tournament, Ben, isn't it? 7 aside.
Yes, so let's start at the beginning. Let's take it right back. Okay.
Everyone just calm down.
Everyone
just calm down. Just relax.
The tournament is called TST. Okay, 3 very important letters. It stands for, you're never going to believe this, the Soccer Tournament.
It's America, Spen.
Yes, it's America. We've got to respect America, guys. They use the word soccer. Little fact, some of you probably know, some of you don't. Soccer is actually an English word. It comes from the word association football, as in the association. That's how they come up with it. Actually, English people.
Let's get back to the money.
Anyway, it's not $1 million. That information is about $5. TST might not mean anything to you because it's a brand new thing. This isn't a tournament that's ever happened before. We're playing in the inaugural TST tournament. But they have got they have got history, albeit under a different name, Seb. What's that name?
TBT.
What's the beast? Wait, these are the guys behind Throwback Thursday on Instagram.
Throwback Tuesday.
Is it Thursday? I thought it was Thursday.
No, it's Thursday, but these are the Tuesday guys.
Oh,
they're not.
Okay.
This is the guys behind the basketball tournament, which has been going for a long, long time. It's been absolutely enormous, making all sorts of waves over in the States. Simple as you get. Basketball tournament, the winner gets $1 million.
If you're into basketball, particularly Americans, you will know about this. It's on ESPN TV.
It's on ESPN, yeah, it's massive.
It's basically the biggest non-NBA affiliated basketball tournament there is. And anyone can play in it. So we're talking about the basketball tournament here, but there's a lot of things they've taken from that tournament, which is very successful, and they're applying them to TST. So anyone can enter. You can have ex-NBA players that have just come out the game. You can have a lot of people in America, obviously coming out of colleges, representing their colleges. They'll play, and like you say, the winning team wins $1 million. So very successful. They're branching into soccer, and of course, hashtag United are getting involved. There's a lot of things these guys are doing. It's not just about the $1 million. There's a lot of things this tournament stands for that we really like. Innovation, ways of pushing the envelope and trying new things in football/soccer that we can't wait to get involved in.
There's a great way the games are going to finish, isn't there? We'll have to talk about that later. But can I just talk one other thing? I think it's a fair moment to talk. $1 million to the winner. Second place gets nothing. It's all or nothing. It is in it to win it.
Yeah.
Take the whole thing. Imagine that losing in the final and getting...
Don't say that because you might make it... don't talk these things into
existence.
It's going to happen to somebody. Us, though.
Not us. We're taking it home.
Yeah, okay, so that's a massive thing, first of all. How many games do teams like us... And by the way, it's not just teams like us. This is an open tournament in the sense that anyone can try and play in this. Now, obviously, there's 32 spots. 2 spots are gone already. One's to us and one's to another big-name player I'm going to tell you about in a minute. But people can enter this tournament. So technically, how I'd like to compare this, Seb, tell me if you think it's a fair analogy, is it's a bit like poker. This is like having a seat at a poker table. What happens is teams can basically buy a spot in the tournament and they can cover all the other costs that come with it as well, go into America. So this isn't something for someone that doesn't back themselves. You've got to back yourselves as a team. But you're going to take your team to America. It's 7 aside, maximum squads of 14. So you're talking about, and then if you want to take anyone else out there, you're talking about quite a few people going over to America. And you can play in the tournament. And if you win, you win $1 million. If you don't, you get nothing. Just like in poker, you can buy a spot at the table, trying to win a lot more than what you bought the spot for, but you might not win. So there is an element of backing yourself here.
And look, let's be honest, it's not for everybody this. We're very lucky to be in a position that we can be involved in a tournament like this. And it's not going to be for everyone watching this video that you can just go and buy a slot in this team, because it's not cheap. But there'll be some of you that may be in that position. But there's also possibly ways that our supporters can get involved in our journey. And we're going to get into that a little bit later as well.
Yeah, you know what we're like, guys. We're always going to take you along the best way we can. So that's not just in the tournament itself. Throughout this next sort of 8-9 months between now and when the tournament happens, we're going to be making content. We're going to be building our squad, because it's not going to be as simple as just taking our first team players. Right? There will be some that come. And I know some of our first team boys watching this now that probably think they're a shoo-in to go. It's a different game, mate. I'm just going to throw this out there for devs watching. I'm actually decent at 7-a-side.
Oh, here we go.
No, I actually am decent.
Here we go. I thought you were going to talk about Dan Adji.
No, he's also decent, but can we just talk about that?
I'm decent at 7-a-side.
There's a video, I don't think it would have gone out on my channel yet, but there's a video coming on my channel of a tournament we played in Portugal recently. We didn't concede a goal, mate. Yeah. And that wasn't first teamers.
Let's talk a little bit about the stand of this tournament, because, like you say, anyone can enter, but there's an opportunity. There's going to be a lot of people who are going to build their own teams for the first time, for the excitement, the thrill of not just playing for the prize, but of being involved in a massive tournament like this. And they're going to get some ballers involved, mate.
Yeah, of course.
Should we talk about the other guy?
So the other team that is confirmed to be taking part already, along with #United, is Clint Dempsey. Ex-American international, played for Fulham, of course, in the Premier League, Tottenham as well. He's putting a team together. I imagine this team is going to be...
He's going to bring the boys, isn't he? He's going to bring the boys.
They're going to be talented. They're probably going to be ex-US internationals, ex-MLS players, whatever.
We might have to get the black book out, Ben. Who can we add to our squad on a short-term basis? We've got some ideas, don't get me wrong. Let me know in the comments who you're thinking could get involved at #, because this tournament is 4 days, right?
Yeah, it's 4 days long. You have a group stage. It's very much like a World Cup format. You play a minimum of 3 group games. If you obviously don't progress out the group, then you're out the tournament. But if you do, you're going to go through all the way to the final, and then that game is for $1 million. There's no clickbait. Literally, the winning team get $1 million, which, by the way, in the current market is basically £1 million.
Right, let's talk about that for a minute, because what would that mean?
Cheers, Liz.
Well, imagine what that would mean for the club. We won $1 million. Like the things we could do. Now, it's
a game changer.
There's a number of different things that we are looking to do. There's no secret. We want our own home. Right?
I thought you were going to say sign Mini Minter.
Well, that's not enough, mate.
No, we need a couple of mil for that.
We might get half his left foot for that. We want to have our own stadium. Yeah. Right? We've got an amazing place we play football now, but it's not ours. So the ability to do something with that could be massive.
Let me put this into perspective for you, Seb. Our women's team could win the Women's FA Cup. Obviously, we're probably not going to. That would require us to beat Super League teams like City and Chelsea and Arsenal, whatever. But if they did, do you know what they get? £100,000. That's about $100,000 in today's market. We're talking about a tournament where we can win $1 million. Obviously, if you win the FA Cup on the men's side, you get a little bit more than that, but not a lot more, Seb. I actually don't know, without going on TV multiple times, even if we went all the way to the final of the men's FA Cup, which we're never going to do anytime soon, we wouldn't get the same amount of money as this.
This is not what that money could do for the club, how much future it could protect and build, how much we could invest in allowing us to progress as a club across every asset, not just the men's team, would be enormous.
Well, I also probably think people don't realise, we talk about the stadium stuff a lot, people don't realise, if we actually want to do that to the level that we'd like to do, we're talking about either building a new place or buying a place. We're talking about putting a new pitch down, potentially, all that stuff. It's a lot of money. It's millions of pounds, not just 1 million. We're probably talking like 3 million minimum.
Be a nice down payment, wouldn't it?
So 1 million towards that would be lovely.
So, but it's not just about what that could be, because we have wanted to do like a big international tour for a while now, right? And this is to America, where we had our first big tour. So shout out to the OGs that remember our big tour to America before. Some of my fondest memories from this
perfect
club.
hat trick.
Of course, that naturally is the first.
You ever done that for hashtag?
No, never done that, mate. Never scored an own goal, mate. So
we don't mention that, but
that is a big part of it. But anyway,
1/3.
The content will be unbelievable. Taking the boys, this is going to be a very competitive within our own squad. We are going to need our nucleus, of course. And maybe,
by the way, it's easy not to score an own goal if you're never defending.
He's still going on about it. Listen, I've moved on, mate. We'll talk about the content we can make about building a team for that. Who we might be able to add to our existing squad, specialists for 7-a-side.
It's not a might. We are going to add some marquee signings. There'll be people that, for whatever reason, can't play 11-a-side for us, or maybe aren't as skilled at 11-a-side, or aren't available, whatever, that will come in for this tournament. We're trying to put a squad together that can win this thing. We also want to do what we're really good at as well, which is make great content and tell a great story from being in this tournament. We're going to be bringing in some big names, but that will be peppered with a few first teamers as well. It's going to be a great opportunity for everyone. I mean, we did our first sort of tour since going into non-league last summer with a little trip to Jersey. Nowhere near as obviously far afield, but put our feet back in the water of a trip abroad. We want to do it again, and we weren't able to do it for a few years prior to that because of COVID. So what a way to return.
It's great.
It's going to be in Cary in North Carolina. So I actually went to North Carolina just a few months ago for the baseball project I'm working on at the moment, just down the road from Carey in Raleigh. And I've seen the facility we're going to play at. It's actually quite well known, soccer facility. I was talking to Jimmy Conrad about it. As soon as I said North Carolina, he knew the exact place we're going to be playing on. It's going to be on grass. It's going to be outdoor, 7-a-side. We've got rough dimensions. They're still working out the exact rulings they're going to be. But there's one rule we have to talk about. This is genius. This is genius. We are not just saying this. We've tried a few little rules here and there and little changes, like we did the man down thing in the Wembley Cup. There's something very similar happening in TST as well we'll talk to you about. But they've got their own twist on a rule I'd never heard of before. And I think it's genius. And honestly, I wouldn't mind seeing it come in 11-a-side football.
I'd like it.
It's called target score time, which also is TST, same as the soccer tournament. How it works is, Seb, every game has to end on a goal. So basically, it's getting rid of time wasting is the main thing. If you're winning a game on multiple goals at the end of the last 5 minutes, it happens all the time in football. It's a real problem for people that, even for big football fans, if you take yourself out of what you're used to seeing and actually look at football from fresh eyes, you realise it's actually a real problem in football, how much time wasting there is. They've tried to have come up with ideas like the stop clock as well, that may or may not come in 11-a-side football. But this is such a good idea. So essentially, whatever the score, you have to end on a goal. Now, it's not next goal wins, because that would be unfair. Yep. How it works is it takes into consideration the score. So let's say me and you are against each other, and my team is 6-3 up against your team, right?
Could happen.
So obviously I'm in control, but I can't time waste, because the only way to win is once the regulation time is up, which is 2 20-minute halves, by the way, I have to score one more goal. You set a target one more than the winning team. So the target score becomes 7. Yep. So you could still win, but you've got to score 4 because I've got 3 goals lead. So you get rewarded for having a lead, but you get encouraged to be attacking throughout the game. It means no ball draws. It means no negative football. It's fantastic.
It's amazing. We've not heard of it before.
And the reason they've come up with this is it's based on the ELAM ending, which is the format from basketball. So this is where it's really interesting. You can learn things from other sports and take little bits, because I can't wait to be involved in this, because when I say involved, I don't necessarily mean play. It could happen. If it works the way I think it could, it's going to be great. Another thing they're doing within that target score time as well, which is a little bit like what we did in the Wembley Cup with man down, although they've slightly honed it, is every 5 minutes, a team is going to lose a player. So it could get crazy. It could go to 6-a-side, 5-a-side, 4-a-side, 3-a-side if the target score hasn't been hit. So it's going to be so fun to be part of. If the other teams are like the Clint Dempsey standard, then we're going to have a real job on our hands. But I back the boys.
Well, I think it's going to be key for us to go on this journey about preparing for this. We obviously want to win every single match the club play in. Whether that's whatever level the club, we're very competitive. But when you've got $1 million on the line, something just hits a little bit different, right?
Oh, yeah.
And we're now going to be building a squad with it in mind. So you can have a little bit of fun with it. You can look outside of our current squad, what players can we bring in that are suited for this? It's going to be really exciting, but also to see what other teams join, Spen, because it's not just going to be Clint. I expect some big heavy hitters to get involved in this. People that are looking to launch their own team, launch their own brand, get themselves out there, and obviously have an amazing time while they're doing it. So, there is a chance. We're going to leave links down below for anyone that, is in the position to get involved in something like that. Now is the time, because I expect them to fill up pretty quickly. And $1 million on the line, mate. People don't mess around.
Yeah, this is perfect for, first of all, let's talk about the area of the world we work in, like the YouTube world. If you're a creator and you have a team, and you've got lots of these guys, I'm thinking about the guys who've got their futsal teams or the guys who've got their sort of creator squads that can't, a little bit like we were before we went into non-league, we couldn't commit to a full league schedule back then, and we didn't have the availability to do that. This is just 3 or 4 days in June next year, in 2023. So if you can make yourself available, if you can get a sponsor to help pay for the costs of being in the tournament, whatever, teaming up with charities like what we saw Autism Awareness do. I'm sure it's going to be broadcast in America. I'm sure they're going to broadcast it elsewhere. We're going to get highlights up on YouTube. There's going to be a lot of people that are going to see this football. So it's a little bit of a good one for an entrepreneur, an innovator out there that thinks, I wish I could get involved in the sort of online football world or the mainstream football world. I don't have that opportunity. I can't get promoted into the Premier League. Well, if you can make a business case for it, you can get a team in this tournament. We're going to be there. And we want to win, but everyone's going to want the same. Everyone's there to win, so it's going to be so competitive. It's
going to be literally mental. I don't think we're very excited about it, but I don't think we really realise just how sick this is going to be.
We've got to get out of the group. We've got to get out of the group.
Mate, I want bigger than that.
No, I'm saying minimum.
We can't even come home.
You can't be going there and not get out of the groups.
Going to get group, mate.
Some
good teams are going to get
16 teams are.
Yeah,
16 and 32.
Yeah, exactly.
A couple other rules we can talk about, because it will help inform your decision when you're thinking about who you think we should sign, you know, because there's other people we could get. So as I said, it's overhead height is allowed. There's no offsides.
No slide tackles.
No slide tackles either. These are all to help stop stoppages, to keep the game moving, keep it attacking. So every rule they've come up with is to make the game entertaining, which I love. Of course, rolling substitutes as well, so you can get players on and off and keep it moving, keep it fresh. Last thing I'll say is, as well as you guys having a chance to actually play in the tournament by following the links in the description, we're also going to be working hard to try and take one of you along with us actually to America as well. Like, stay tuned for that. We'll communicate that, and we're going to tell you lots of things throughout the next 6 months or so, telling the story, building the club, building the squad, so we can hopefully win $1 million. Just imagine if, you know, in June next year, me and you are making a video with a big $1 million check. That will be probably the biggest thing hashtag's ever done. It will be the biggest thing we've ever done.
Oh yeah, undoubtedly.
That's what this is going to be. It's such an exciting opportunity. So big thank you to TST for giving us the opportunity. All the links you need are in the description, whether it's you want to enter a team yourself, whether you want to follow the tournament's progress and just keep up to date with it all. Obviously, keep following our socials, because we're going to be posting updates constantly as we sign players to play specifically in our team. Let us know in the comments who would be your dream 7-a-side hashtag team. We're going to take a squad, obviously.
Tasty, isn't it?
But give me a starting 7. Goalkeeper, and then formation-wise, what are we looking at? There's loads of different options, isn't there? Is it a 2-2-2? Is it a 1-3-2? Is it a 3-2-1 triangle? Pyramid. Some people like that formation.
I'm just literally sitting here imagining sides, and you know what? There's one common theme. None of them include either of us.
But Manji is in there.
Manjog's on the right.
Manjog's got to go. Right. Get him on the plane.
Get him on the plane. Get that trending.
Also, should Devs be the gaffer for this, by the way?
Oh, interesting.
Like, is that simple?
What's his background at 7-a-side?
I mean, has he done 7-a-side? He has scored a good goal in the 7-a-side tournament we did last year.
True.
To be fair. And didn't my team beat him, though?
Potentially also true.
My team knocked him out, didn't we, in the semi-finals?
Oh, listen, roll the clip.
So maybe I won't be playing, but maybe I could be gaffer.
Oh, here we go. He wants to cut that cash.
We've got to work out what we do with the cash.
I know,
it's not for today. Anyway, whatever happens, it's going to be one of the best things we've ever done. Hopefully the best thing we've ever done if we win the money. So get involved. Stick along for the ride. We cannot wait. June 2023, North Carolina. They're going to do more of these, by the way. The first one's going to be in North Carolina, but who knows where the future TST tournaments will be. But if it's anything like the TBT tournaments, the basketball tournaments, which have been so fantastically run over the last few years, this is going to be a huge success. We cannot wait. Drop a like on the video if you've enjoyed it. Subscribe for more. Up the tags. $1 million. I cannot wait to win $1 million. It's definitely happening. Bye.